Okay, so for the past couple of episodes, I have been playing with Zoom, recording in Zoom to see if I like the sound, the video quality, and everything in Zoom. And as it would have it, I'm sitting here, I was recording for this week's episode in Zoom, and my internet went out and then was going to go back in. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just hop right on my phone and record it on my phone and do like a little test run. And turns out I like the quality of the video on my phone way better than what I was getting on Zoom. So I'm back to my phone for this week's episode. Now let me turn this around. This is gonna look kooky. I turn it around. I don't know how that's gonna record, but we shall find out. So anyway, let's talk about income generating activities. This is episode number 195, and I want to talk to you about income generating activities. If you're like me, when I first started, I thought income generating activities meant client work. If I was doing a client's work, then I was generating income because the client was going to pay me to complete the project, right? Or complete the task. However, when that phrase is given about income generating activities, they're not talking about client work. They're talking about what the activity does. Does that activity generate income or not? For example, you probably do a lot of hanging out on social media, whatever your favorite platform is. So we know clearly if we're just scrolling on Instagram per se, that is not generating any income. Nobody even knows we're there if we're just scrolling and say nothing, or just scrolling and clicking hearts. Or on Facebook and scrolling and just clicking likes. No one even knows we're there or that we even exist. They don't know. So if we do a post, and let's say we do an inspirational quote, which is great. We're going to get likes, a few comments, but is that generating income? It's really not. Most people are going to see your post in their news feed. Most people are not going to your actual Facebook page. And I'm not saying none of them will, but it's better to think of your post as single independent posts rather than depending on them to head on over to your full page and see everything. So what could make that post an income generating activity is that we have some type of call to action that leads them towards our services. And not necessarily a link directly to our services, but maybe it's a link to our email list. And maybe within the email list, in our regular newsletters, we are talking about our services, inviting them to discovery calls, sending them to informationals, whatever it is, so that they can come into our service bucket. When that is the case, then that post is an income generating activity. When you're writing that post, when you're scheduling that post, that's an income generating activity. The same thing if you're writing a blog post and you want some type of call to action that leads them to do something, leads them to contact you, leads them to schedule a discovery call so that they get into your service bucket. Now that blog post is an income generating activity. And these are things that don't require you to be there every single time. You do it one time and that post lives on, that blog post lives on, and it has that call to action. That video does the same thing, leads them into your service bucket. That is what we want. Those are income generating activities. There are, of course, more obvious things when we are outright marketing. Maybe you're writing ads, maybe you're at network marketing events, maybe you're doing cold emails, warm emails, cold calls, warm calls. Those things are also income generating activities because the goal is to lead people into our service bucket. The main point is to know that once you get the project, you are no longer doing an income generating activity. Yes, that has to be done. Yes, you've got to meet the deadline. Yes, we're responsible for doing the work. However, in terms of income generating activity, that project is not, because you have already generated the income for that particular task. Income generating activities are what draw new clients into your service bucket. It's also what draws warm clients into your service bucket. So, say for example, you're working on a client project. Maybe you've added those clients to an email list, and then you do a regular newsletter. You're giving updates, specials, teaching them something, giving them tips. Also, it leads back for them to add on even more services to their project. That email, that e-newsletter, that then becomes an income generating activity when you're crafting that particular email to go out. It is an income generating activity. So don't let it confuse you. What is an income generating activity and what is not an income generating activity? The question to ask yourself when you're not sure is, where does this lead them? You want to lead them somewhere. And it doesn't always have to be in your service bucket, especially when you're posting on social media. Everything should not be about your services, your discovery calls, and all that stuff. 20% should, 80% should be more engagement and things like that. But when you want to focus on income generating activities, it's a question to ask, where does this lead them? If you want it to generate income, it must lead people somewhere. If you have any questions about this and you're watching this video, I want you to post your questions in the comments below. If you are listening to this podcast on your commute, thanks so much for taking me along on your drive. I am happy to keep you company as you're headed to work or errands or wherever you may be going. If you are not on the email list, be sure you get on that. The way to do so, you want to text to the number 33777, the words VA START. And again, it's 3, and then it's actually 4 sevens, I believe, and then VA START. That's what you want to send it to. So that you can get on the email list. And if you're watching the video, I need to just really double check because they changed my number for the texting. And I know in a previous episode, I gave out the old code, and I think the old code still works, but I want to get used to giving you guys the new code, those of you who are not on the email list. If you're on your a device and you're listening to this, you can also go to my website, tiffanyparson.com, and click on training and then sign up for the VIP list that way. And then you'll have it. So anyway, that is that. So focus on income generating activities. This is something we can't slack on. This is how we fill our funnel. We get clients into, our service bucket is by doing income generating activities. It's very, very important. I'm working on when our next 6-week workshop will be. I had scheduled for it to be in September, but I'm not certain we'll be able to do it in September. However, I will keep you guys posted on when we'll be doing that. Those of you that are on the email list, you're going to be the first to know when to sign up and all that good stuff. I tell you, there's just so much going on. I want to make sure that I am my best for you and that I'm giving you the absolute best. And so I'm just making sure of the right time to do the 6-week workshop, the final one for 2021 before before we get into the holiday season. Now, I had a question come through about clients and pay structure, if everybody has the same pay date. And I want to answer that really quick. And that is, wouldn't it be great if everything was so structured that all clients came at the beginning of the month, or all clients came in at the end of the month or the middle of the month, but it doesn't work that way. Clients are billed based on when they hire you for their service. So if they decide to hire you, what's today? If they decide to hire you the third week of the month, then whatever the date is that they sign up, then that's when their invoice payment is due if they're recurring every single month. And if you got it set up to where they're recurring payments and you got automatically generating invoices or automatically generating payments that draft automatically, it's going to be the same date every month. And yes, everyone is going to have a different time frame simply because everybody doesn't come in at the same time. So that's how that works. And it's, a 30-day cycle. And if anybody has any further questions, I really, really encourage you to get on the email list so that you can join in when we do the next 6-week workshop so that I can learn more about your individual business. It is difficult to answer I can answer generic questions, but I always tend to have more questions in mind in relation to what type business, what your service is, and all that good stuff. And the only way I can do that is if you're a part of our program in the 6-week workshop. So anyway, head on over to my website, tiffanyparson.com, and click on training, and you'll be able to get added. You'll also get access to the 15 known secrets of getting started as a virtual assistant. If you want to text, go ahead and text the number 337-777, and you want to text the word VA start. That's VA for virtual assistant and start. So thank you guys so much for your patience, your time, for listening. For those of you who are watching, thank you for watching as well. You guys have a wonderful and fantastic day. I will see you in next week's episode.